Okay, Islam Sheikh Dwayne Arrington-Bey and my Moorish American Nation and family in Monterey Bay, Islam. This is the post office. I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey. I'm about to send our $10 dues. It's Friday. Friday is holy day for us as Hebrew Muslims. As Moorish Americans, we have claimed our nationality as Moorish Americans. By blood and by land, we are Moorish Americans. Reclaiming your nationality is how you are able to get back into the constitutional fold. Just now, I'm not accusing this person. There's a pale skin here, so they're not in the video, but I think he's listening to a radio. Someone said how. You know, artificial intelligence can speak through the radio. I don't know, but and as he said, I felt a force sharp pain around my in the back of my head. Okay, I'm in Annapolis, Maryland. This walk takes me about 15 minutes to walk. Imani and I, we walk everywhere. We don't have an automobile. We walk everywhere. So we definitely value our health. Good health is a part of freedom. So as Moorish Americans who claim their nationality, you have to claim a nationality in order to be a part or in the constitutional fold. White, and if I call this person white, he's not in the video. He's lit to be pale skin. When you hear those that say they're white, that means they're telling those who know constitutional law that they are not in the constitutional fold. Because white is not a nationality. White is not a correct term for them. They start calling themselves white. I think it was in the year 1791. The pale skin adopted the word white instead of claiming a nationality. And the science of saying the word white gives them a status, because it is true in science, white means purity. Purity means God, and God means ruler of the land. And our Moorish 101, I think it's Moorish Key 91, it says, what is the meaning of white? White means purity. Purity means God, and God is the ruler of the land. Islam, if I remember correctly. So that is not the correct term for a pale skin who have not claimed a nationality. When pale skins say they are white, they are letting those who are in knowledge of constitutional law that they are not in a constitutional fold. That means they have privileges, not rights. That means they are being controlled and going by privileges and not rights. Islam. We have affirmed to uphold constitutional law as Moorish Americans. We affirm to uphold the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, which includes the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. In the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, it declares all men are free. And then we also have affirmed to uphold all 4 of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations. The proclamations are the Mosaic Code or Hebrew law in layman's terms, according to, these are the words of the National Grand Sheikh Joe Arrington-Bey, but that is true. We also study Leviticus 25:10, which is on the Liberty Bell. Liberty means freedom. So when you are outside a constitutional fold, that means you are accepting privileges instead of rights. Then that means you possibly are but you are identified and classified as some form of property, Islam. And we learned this through studying in the Moorish American National Republic, such as the word black, African American, Negro. None of those terms are recognized in constitutional law. Those are not nationalities. So when this person is not in the video, he's a customer that comes into Burger King, but he's not in the video. I have the video facing this way, and he just came out whistling. Like I hear whistling at American Extended Stay. So up and down the hall sometimes. He's a regular customer. It's odd because he usually order a hamburger, no pickles, a medium fry, and a small cup. Usually orange soda. So when you do not affirm or take an oath, when you are not of Moorish descent or more, the European is supposed to take an oath, okay, to uphold these laws of freedom. Then that means you have not been naturalized. This is a form of naturalization. This correlates to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4 of the U.S.A. Constitution of 1787, naturalization. So therefore, you are vulnerable to be used as a foreign entity. Not only that, according to constitutional law, you are not identified being a part of the human race, Islam. So it's sort of it's interesting because I give testimony in Annapolis how Spanish-speaking, those that look to be from like Hispanic, Mexico, not all, some, not all, but more than some, a lot. El Salvador, South America, Central America, they're saying werewolf like an animal, or saying a bird, and I'm finding feathers. I've been seeing feathers on my path to work for a long time. So, when you are outside of constitutional law and haven't been naturalized under laws of freedom, you haven't been naturalized properly. You might have gotten a green card, but they left out the important amendment, the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. 20 sections, not two. 2 sections is unlawful and illegal. It was never ratified properly. Then that lets you know why they allowed them to come over here and why they gave them the green card. Because if you have been naturalized not under laws of freedom, then that causes you to be vulnerable to be used either as a terrorist, possibly. I'm not saying everyone that's not naturalized is a terrorist. I'm just giving a vulnerability of the importance of being naturalized under laws of freedom. You can be used as a terrorist. Someone may be more vulnerable to be a criminal, perform criminal acts, whether it's drug dealing, sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is a problem on this landmass. I just posted videos recently about they having a problem with sex trafficking on this landmass. They've been having problems with sex trafficking since the time during 9/11, since the twin bombings. So sex trafficking has been a problem on this landmass for a very, very long time. And those missing children, missing young adults, etc. So this is the importance of affirming and upholding laws of freedom, Islam. So I'm going to go get my money order and send off the money order to Moorish American National Republic. There's a video with Cynthia McKinley as she addresses the concerns of sex trafficking and trillions of dollars being missing during 9/11. So it is September the 17th, 2021. September 11th just passed, and some more were definitely talking about 9/11 and all the odd things that has happened during 9/11. Why Building 7 collapsed. They said imploded, and it had nothing to do with the airplanes. They brought up issues about the Twin Towers. They showed the count of 2,700 and more. This is what they counted at that time of dead fatalities. But they said it was a lot more than that, and then people also died from what they experienced, whether it was the fragments, cancer, after 9/11 that was close to ground zero. So they brought up many issues about even my thoughts were how was it's just like how this happened, why it happened. This doesn't make sense. The excuses that the United States corporation government is giving to the people, and still to this day it doesn't make sense. Islam. So 9/11 just passed. Even on The View, they brought up many questions of how fire melt steel, and they had an experts look, even give testimony about fire not being able to melt steel, but yet they have never spoke about how possibly, or I guess you want to say, admitted that that the 2011 buildings were bombed, and Building 7 was bombed, and that it was some form of a demolition act. And they even though conspiracy theorists, they call them, have definitely called out the government and say they were in on it, there has not been an official writing saying that the government was in on it. So this is the points of being naturalized. When the United States military, Navy, and Army, yes, that's because I have rights, not privileges. Islam. Somebody just came out of the post office. She said I'm very loud. I said that's because I have rights, not privileges. When the United States military, Navy, Army, or Marine have not been naturalized to uphold laws of freedom, they are vulnerable to be used as terrorists. They are vulnerable to be used as terrorists by foreign entities. And that includes the police.
Thanks so much.
You're all set.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
May I help you?
Yes, I just need a money order for $10.
Okay. Money order, Janetta.
And I'm going to pay with a card. Go down to that end? Okay, thank you.
Hi, may I help you? Just 2 questions. First of all, what would be the best way to send just someone to see a card? They're like an envelope or a...
Yes, you could buy one of those envelopes, little padded ones, the
Okay.
small ones. That'll work for that.
And then, for a separate issue, are there like flat rate shipping boxes?
Yes, they're right over
How
there.
much is that usually?
$10.
cheaper?
And I'm going to use my card, okay?
Okay, that's fine. As long as you do
That means the packet would come.
debit.
Yep, that's okay.
It's no amount.
I was going to do an additional 20-minute, 15-minute walk to get cash.
All right,
I was like, why?
11:45.
I have to do that. I'm also going to need an envelope. Do you need to
A
charge me?
stamped envelope?
You need to
Okay,
charge
yeah.
me? Oops. You can charge me twice. I need a stamp envelope as well. And I want to, should I?
I don't have a stamped one. I just have the regular ones that you can buy stamped.
Okay. That's okay.
Just one, right?
Yeah.
All right, 12.52.
12.52.
done?
Who is she?
Bringing that stuff?
I think so. Not sure. You just dropping that off?
Yeah.
You can hand it to me. Thank you. You know, huh?
Thank you.
Oh.
Like that color, huh?
What color?
This little hair blonde look better than mine look blonde. There she goes.
You did email?
Print an email. Oh, do I need to give you the email to?
We're just gonna print it.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. I need to email it. As long as I have a printout. It's good. And plus, the money order is also, so it's good. Then what I'm gonna do is come back and give it to you, or
You should drop it in the box, whatever you want.
drop it in box. Okay.
Have a great day, okay?
No problem. Okay. Thanks.
Yes. From now on, you have to remove.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, so I'm gonna fill this out real quick. And so I was gonna show the time. The reason why I'm doing this is because, believe it or not, during this coronavirus pandemic, there's been issues with mail, even more so. So it's 3:52, September the 17th, Friday. People have posted on TikTok and other places, showing people, neighbors going in other neighbors' mailboxes. One guy, he had the camera, and the lady was like literally aggressive. These were two pale skin. I don't know if they claim a nationality. So I call this a description. Two pale skin. The guy was a pale skin that caught the lady, who was another pale skin, going into the mailbox. And she was like aggressive, saying as though she had the right, the authority to take his mail. And she said, the reason why I'm doing this is because you are receiving too much mail from Amazon. The UPS is coming here. This is odd. That was her reason for going to his mailbox. When you have imbalance, mental illness, and definitely different sciences such as the telepathic code, people having issues with drugs, alcoholism, there's an economic crisis, so forth, and then these things will increase. Because there are different strands of the telepathic code, and then you don't know which download a person may have gotten.
Your pen too. Okay, sorry. And those decorative cardboard boxes, those are by weight?
Yes.
What's the price by weight?
It just depends.
Okay, gotcha.
You're welcome.
I like to send out a bunch of those like bridal party packages, like 10 of them, so I'm trying to find the cheapest way, but it's just not cheap.
Nope. Especially since in everything priority now. I know
Okay.
it's a little decorative and all that, but
It's not worth it.
it's not worth it. Liquid trash repairs potentially hazardous, especially when people buy these perfumes. You push card into some.
Sorry.
It ain't like Whole Foods and all them.
Okay.
You have to
Sorry.
actually wait.
Okay.
Okay, put it in now. Credit or debit. Credit is written. You're all set. Serving at the bottom. And take banking information right here.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Oh, these packages, do I buy them first?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
You take them with you, and then when you bring them in the mail,
Okay,
that's when you pay everything.
gotcha.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good.
Okay, if you hear feedback, that's good. I am still filling out the money order. It is important to also, believe it or not, I have never been around so many. When I came to Annapolis, you know, I grew up around African American, Black, Negro. That would be our status before we claim our nationality. So Black, Negro, African American all my life. When I came to Annapolis was the first time I saw so many Black Negroes. I'm not a Black Negro. I claim a nationality because I know who I am, and I'm not part ape, dog, or whatever. So I'm not an animal. But I've seen so many African American Black Negroes, never in my life, saying they paid for something and looked my way. Now, you know, it's those that have rational thoughts would say, how can those who are identified and used as property, slaves, try to claim they own anything? Not only that, then you know that disease and viruses. So, and then imagine these unclean spirits trying to force their way in your life. And then the same possibly spirits, unclean, I'm referring to unclean spirits, of course this is unclean, speak about reparations and 400 years of slavery and how their ancestors were enslaved and they deserve reparations. That lets you know a lot. A lot of times I've heard them say your son, and then look towards a police car as though implying they're going to create some form of criminal act that can place Imani Grebe, who is Moorish American. He also claimed a nationality, and we took the classes, in some form create a false situation. Especially after I hear them say brother, literally say brother like animals. And then, believe it or not, hear them say the same, hear them say possibly, start speaking about 400 years of slavery.
That is tracking. It's still tracking. They have to sign for it.
No, I don't need to. I just need to prove that it's been delivered.
Okay.
I think it said tracking comes with priority mail.
Yeah. So that's 7. Is the envelope over there? It's $7.95.
That's the cheapest?
That's the cheapest unless you do certified.
I thought there was like just tracking, there's no other tracking?
It's tracking, but it's first class parcels. This is a flat. So this has to go with, either certified or in private.
When those are outside of constitutional law,
$7, or is there a different type of priority?
No, it's the cheapest is $6. I mean,
they
$7.
will use or piggyback off of true history of Moors being hung, Moors being raped, Moors being in bondage, Moors being in prison. But now that we know truth, what they try to leave out a lot of times are those that are different than Moors, that participated and still to this day are used and participate in such acts of harm, acts of terrorism. And then they piggyback off the tears, off the compassion, off the history.
Probably delivered to that address.
True crime, they true crimes.
This is the second time I've had.
And it's a shameful act, but it's true.
Not with you, it's this individual. So I just want to make sure it's, you can't claim it's lost or anything like that.
It is true, for real, and it is sad because
It doesn't have to be restricted. Oh, no, it's just,
they got away with it for so long. Then they get on TV, hiding the real reason why a criminal act was done. Maybe they use racial profiling, some form of racism. Usually, a lot of times, those that are unclean in spirit, that are African American, Black, Negro, they're working along with the pale skin that are also outside of constitutional law, hiding what really happened. So it's important to know truth and document how many innocent Moors went to prison because of these unclean spirits that piggyback off the history. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show that I'm putting this in the envelope. And realizing the reason why they do such things is because they are outside of natural law. And this spiritual war has been going on for a long time against natural law, constitutional law. Okay, so now I'm going to put this in against laws of freedom. Against laws of freedom, which affects Earth and the universe. In Arrington-Bey and we don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, and nor have we ever implied we want to know anyone personally here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is the receipt. Now it is 4:06. It's still September the 17th, 2021.
Have a good weekend. Thank you. You too. Can I help you? Right. Yeah, sorry. Okay, liquid breath here since you're having perfume for her. Do you want to go first? Like the priority meal? Please,
Okay, so now I'm gonna place this inside the mailbox. Let's see, is this inside the mailbox? I'm gonna use this one. Okay, it is 4:06. It says Monday through Friday, 4:45 p.m. to 12 p.m. Hold on, let me see what this one says, okay? One moment. This one, the thing is off. So, I'm gonna go to this one. Also, it says 210 Legion Avenue. This is the post office off Legion Avenue in Annapolis, Maryland. Once again. Put it in there. It's long.